Hello, Stranger Things fans. You weren't expecting that as an intro to this video, but don't run away, because this is not a video about Stranger Things. This is just me reminding you that Gaten Matarazzo, who plays Dustin, is in this film, in case you didn't know that. Yeah, so fun fact. Anyway, I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Honors Society. Yeah, this is a Paramount Plus original that dropped this week. Because we don't send things to theaters anymore. We just send them to a streaming service. This is, a teen comedy. Best way to describe this film. I'm a blind film critic, so I don't know that teen comedies are the kind of film that necessarily I would have some sort of a loss of effect by not being able to see them. There's audio description on this. I did not like the audio description on this. I guess I'll go ahead and talk about that, because I could come back around to that, but it's going to start with the film anyway. So the gimmick here and why it affects the audio description and makes the audio description kind of shitty is Honor is she's super clever. The writers here, they got together and they were like, guys, I don't think anybody in this current generation has ever seen Clueless. They don't know what breaking the fourth wall is. So they have Honor breaking the fourth wall. Yes, her fucking name is Honor, by the way. That's what Honor Society is that the main girl's name is Honor. It seems like something that they came up with the title for, and then they were like, okay, so how do we make this work? What does this really mean? Well, what if the girl's name was Honor? And then somebody was like, is anybody named Honor? I mean, anyone? That's weird. And can we check Facebook? Oh, we found some people on Facebook. Oh, there's like 3 people on Facebook. Okay, cool. So we're safe. We didn't just create that name. I'm surprised the movie about Table 19 wasn't about a girl named Table turning 19. Anyway, so Honor Society is about a girl named Honor who has share disorder, where she feels the need to constantly talk to you, the audience, and break the fourth wall. And I mean constantly. Like, we just saw Persuasion, where Dakota Johnson was doing that too, and this is like that on crack. Honor basically does most of the film in like an aside to the audience. Like, everything from character introductions. She might as well just be credited as the fucking audio narrator for this film. Like, audio description by the girl who plays Honor in the film. I feel like she's practically narrating the film for us. Like, she's just gonna start telling us what people wear, and she's like, and this is my friend, and she's a tall girl with brown hair, and she's wearing a nice blue dress. Goes down about it's so obnoxious. It's one of the things I hated about this film, is the complete overuse of breaking the fourth wall. Like, it's cute and it can be done well, and then it can also be done monotonously, to where the character does it so many times that you lose your mind. I would say like Mean Girls does it like a solid amount of times, when Katie's talking like in her head. She's not even really breaking the fourth wall. She's just sort of like having inner thoughts, but there is a little bit when she's talking about her life back in Africa, where I guess you could call it like narration, breaking the fourth wall. But most of the time, Honor is just like straight up talking to the audience, like you're in the living room. It's a lot. Nothing left to uncover for yourself. She'll tell you exactly how she's feeling, how other people are feeling, what's the secret reason for her doing something. It's just, it gets really old really fast, and it's so overdone. So yeah, she's a girl who she even gives that tired speech about like I'm one of the girls that everybody wants to be like and all the boys want to date. And I'm like, oh my god, I feel like that's been said in like 10 teen films before you. Can we stop using that phrase? Like, I know she was probably using it ironically in 2022 because we don't make films like that anymore. But uh, because her whole thing is that she's smart and she's actually like trying to get into Harvard and secretly she's smart and she's managed to like crawl her way up the popularity scale and convince people that she's also like just kind of like an airhead pretty girl. And she hangs out with like the two most popular girls in school or like on or like her squad. And anyway, she's got to get the recommendation of her guidance counselor so that she can hopefully get into Harvard and get into the school of her choice. And by the way, her guidance counselor is McLovin. So that again took me out of the film. I heard his voice and I was like, is this a student? Christopher Mintz-Plasse, I know he's been playing adult roles. I know he was in Promising Young Woman, but I don't take him seriously yet as an adult. So he doesn't sound like an adult. He sounds like one of the teenagers still. Like his voice has not moved at all. There's no maturity in his voice. He sounds the same age as every other person in school. So when he was trying to be a guidance counselor, I was so confused. And in the beginning, I was like, is this a student? How old is this? And then I saw it was Christopher Mintz-Plasse. I had to like IMDb it during the movie because it was driving me insane. I was like, that's why I recognize that voice. I didn't like the casting. And so she has to do all these things and she's trying to get, she's manipulating this kid, Michael, who is played by Gaten Matarazzo, who's smart, and she tries to play stupid and get him to tutor her so that she can get closer to him. And there's this whole scheme. I don't want to like ruin the whole film because I will be honest and say that while the film was actually really frustrating me throughout serious parts of it, I will say that it actually manages to course correct itself really well in the end. Like this film lands nicely. Even though the film feels like a jumbled mess for like the first chunk of it, and I didn't like Honor as a character because she kept trying to talk to me and stuff like that. I will say that when we got to the ending, I was like, oh, that's interesting. There's a twist. And there's another twist. Oh, okay, so everything seems to have actually been set up so that we could end the film nicely. Cool. It doesn't feel that way, though, when you're watching it. So you just sort of have to trust me that the film just kind of lands. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to watch the film, because if you don't like the first 2/3 of the film, it doesn't really mean that the last third of the film, just because it starts getting good at the end, that necessarily makes it rewarding. But it does mean that it stopped it from being shitty. It was like the plane was going down and the pilot actually managed to pull up. You know, the pilot got it out of the tailspin and saved everybody from the crash. That's kind of Honor's Society. Yeah. So, watch it, don't watch it, I really don't care. It's okay. It's sometimes charming, but usually from the supporting cast. Almost always from supporting cast. Even by the end of the film, I didn't like Honor as a character. Even though she does things to redeem herself as a human being, I still overall didn't like her character. So I didn't really care what happened to her in the future, which is bad because you're supposed to be invested in the protagonist. I was not invested in the protagonist. But then again, I'm a dude and I'm not a teenager anymore. I like teen films. This film just has a lead I couldn't connect with. So maybe you can. Maybe you will. I don't know. I could see people liking this. It wouldn't shock me. I think it's better than Senior Year. So there you go. There's something. I'm going to go ahead and give Honor Society a C+. It's a higher grade than I gave Senior Year. It's about on par with a couple other teen-oriented films from the year. Like, I think that's about what I gave The In-Between and The Sky Is Everywhere. So, let me know what you think about this film in the comments, as well as don't forget to like and subscribe if this is your first time to my channel and you like seeing my big head on your screen, because I'm using a phone. I know I'm using a phone. It's easier for me as a blind person to have a nice point of reference that's actually in my hand instead of somewhere across the room that I can't see. And you can go to my website, MacTheMovieGuy.com, to read more reviews. You can go to the audio description project, which is adp.acb.org, to see what films are audio described and where you can watch them. And you can go to theadna.org to see what other narrators are up to, because unfortunately this is on Paramount Plus, which means, yes, they force you out of the film before it lets you know who the narrator is. Fun times. So I have no idea who the narrator was. I didn't like the narration, but it's, I don't know that it's 100% their fault. I think this film is so heavily narrated by the lead character, it became really hard for them to interject with stuff that was actually important, because it was like everything Honor immediately came, like if it came into her mind, she had to like say it to the audience. So normally in those breaks where we would get audio description, Honor is saying some dumbass thing to us, like thinking she's super funny or witty or whatever. And a few times she is, but most of the time they could have just cut that out. She talks to the audience way too much. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to go review another film now. And I don't think most of you even know this film exists. So we'll see how many clicks this review gets. It'll be fun. All right. Until next time. See you then.